Hello and welcome. My name is Tom.
And I'm Heather.
And you're sitting at the Couples Table.
The Couples Table is a live stream podcast here on this channel. Join us for better or worse.
For richer or poorer.
In sickness and in health.
On all of our streams. I don't know what to say because I said it for as long as... Anyway. Hello.
Hello. This is your second stream of the day, Tom.
I know. I'm just creating the content today.
I'm getting my haircut today. And I'm kind of excited about it because it's a lot. There's a lot happening, isn't there?
I think it's fine. But I'm excited for you to get it cut. Whatever you want is perfect.
It is episode 109. Yay. Hello, everybody.
Hello. We got lots of people here. We got lots of people that were in my channel supporter exclusive VIP
That
live
was
stream.
fun.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was worried for you because... So Tom did a members only live stream over on his channel.
Mm-hmm. True.
That was supposed to be AV Q&A.
Yeah, and I messed up the audio immediately.
And as soon as he went live, the audio was off. But I was very proud about how you handled it. Because I know whenever something like goes wrong on a live stream, panic mode. Just panic. I feel it. I felt so bad. But I was like, no, he's got this.
I got it.
You got it. You did well.
Yeah. It was, I don't know if it was a bug though. It wasn't me doing anything wrong. It was a straight up bug.
It was a bug.
Yeah. I don't know if it was an eCam or in the Roadcaster, but something bugged.
Something was a bug. Hello, everyone. Yeah. Parker Jennings, Acapella's here. Acapella said some really nice things about our podcast.
I know.
Hi, Michael. Mr. Cameron Trick in the house. Homesick Mac. What's up? Rio Pel Room. Spiral Lab. Loved your videos, especially the jumper run. Thank you so much. Hey, Jay. Keith is here. Introvert Amateur is here. Call me Cubby in the house. Hey, Carissa, what's up? Good to see you. All right.
So we are talking about things we got wrong about you. I've, believe it or not, been wrong about things before.
You?
Me? I know. Crazy.
Yeah. Well, do you want to start?
Well, you said you had something that you wanted to show me, but I don't know if that's maybe a later thing.
Well,
you've been teasing me for like a day about this thing. But maybe that's something... Maybe it'll find its way into the... I don't know what it is. It'll find its way into the conversation.
Well, okay, let me pull it up.
Okay.
Let me pull it. I don't even know.
So while you're doing that, when we talk about things we got wrong about YouTube, we're essentially talking about, like, you know, obviously misconceptions that we had about the platform. But I think the way that we want to approach this is more from like less the standard YouTube best practices thing of like, you know, I thought I had to spend 2 months making the perfect video, and it's like, no, just make a million crummy videos. Like the standard advice you hear a lot, and more about, I don't know, maybe offbeat or more personal things that we have learned through the platform or from creating on the platform for a while. I guess it could be a little bit of everything because we had all kinds.
It could be all kinds of things because I feel like even if it's the same point, we have different experiences with it. So, and
that's how YouTube is, which is why it's so tough for anybody to give, like, other than make videos, I guess that's like the best advice. But anything else, there's so many variables for so many different people. So
I don't know who said it. I think it was Amir when we bumped into him at the arena, but he quoted this from somebody else. So this is just from the grapevine.
So we're hearing Heather quote someone that we bumped into in real life who was quoting someone else.
But they said that YouTube was a journey, like an ongoing journey of self-exploration. And
totally
I was like, that's it. That's it. Like that. Because there's just so many variables, and I honestly think that most of it has to do with like the creator. You know, it's like, I don't know, your priorities might change, your things that inspire you will change, your gear levels up, like all of that, and all of it could play a factor into your, you know, how you create your content. But anyway, do you want me to pull up this video?
Sure, yeah. I don't know what it is, so you want to give me some context?
Well, I guess this is something that I was wrong about, but the thing is, it's kind of hard for me to like pull it up.
Well, yesterday Heather said she was watching one of her old videos, and she was like, I need you to watch this because it's like the cringiest thing. I can't even look at it, which Heather like never says about her stuff. You know, like,
yeah,
we all have those feelings when we go back and watch things we made where we're like, oh, I don't know about that. But you especially you tend to look back on your work with like a sense of pride and like, oh, look at her.
I know, because I'm happy I tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. But this was like really embarrassing. Like I was very,
and I don't know what it is. I haven't seen it.
Very embarrassed.
She told me I had to wait until.
It's all the way in the archives, so that's why.
Oh, it's on Instagram.
Yeah, it's on Instagram.
Oh, I thought it was a YouTube video.
It is a YouTube video, but I see the gram is great because I cut it to, so it's a YouTube video.
You're gonna have to go back a while here. So I saw a comment from Hassan that asked if the LCT 440 was going into the Rodecaster. No, when we're in Heather's room, everything goes through the Focusrite 2i2. So since this is a condenser, it can go into any interface super easily. This is the Lewitt LCT 440 Pure, which I've used actually quite a bit now, and I like it a lot. So I wanted to use it and see how it sounded today. I see Raphael's there. Thing he got wrong from the start is where the actual money can be made linked to YouTube. My initial impulse was actually a money thing too, because I specifically started with zero intention. Not only no intention.
Like stubbornly though.
Yeah, not even.
Like you were stubborn.
I didn't intend to make money, but I was like, I shouldn't be making money from this, was kind of the attitude.
It's like, dude.
And I was definitely wrong about that.
Trying to be noble over here.
Well, I understand where I was coming from, and I actually still identify and relate to that. But I was also, I was wrong and misguided.
Okay. I just want to make sure that the volume plays. So if I share a screen, let me, let me play this. And then if I go to share screen like this.
I don't see any volume, because we would need like a loop back. I don't see anything.
System audio.
There it is.
There, can you hear this?
I like your business suit there.
Okay, so this isn't it.
You look like, God, you look so official.
I know.
You're like the principal. Well, sorry.
Benny, sit.
Or general or overall.
Benny, okay, so here's the embarrassing video.
Wait, sorry. God. Barking boy.
Ben, sit. Shh. Okay, ready? Are you ready for this? Wait, let me turn up the volume here so you can actually hear it.
To answer your question, Hassan, no processing.
Okay, here.
Heather, how are you going to pay your bills? Sometimes I just want to scream back and be like, that's my problem. Like, if I end up broke, your ship will keep sailing. My idea for the movement evolved again, but this time I think it's reached its zenith. I think I have finally come to the vision of what the final result will look like for this movement. What it would look like if it was up and running and everything was good. So now that I have the final form of the movement, I'm just starting from the top and working backwards rather than building up to that. The basis for the movement is not income, it's impact. Prioritizing for impact has really allowed me to go big with my ideas. Anything I do in the summer for this thing, the goal is to maximize impact. Heather, how are you going to pay your bills?
So let's say it.
Okay, so first of all, that was the same summer that I was developing a program called Impact, by the way.
I know, that's
even
weird.
Though we didn't know each other when you recorded this.
That's hella weird.
I don't see what's embarrassing about that. I mean, you said movement like 50 times, but
no, that
that's
wasn't
fine.
the embarrassing thing. So here.
I mean, thinking you have reached the zenith of something.
That's the embarrassing thing.
I have reached my final form.
So here's this, May 10th, 2016. That's what?
It's like a month into your
That's what?
self-employment.
7 years ago.
Yeah.
7 years ago. Okay. And the reason why I find that specifically so embarrassing is because of the final form thing. I was so sure. I was like, this is what it's going to be. Oh, little girl. You have no idea. Like 7 years later, you're still not going to have any idea what the hell you're doing, dude. Like, it's just, I mean, it's cute that you think you know. Like I don't know. I guess I can see it as like, admirable that I took a stand and I was like, this is where I want to go.
Yeah.
But it's like, I feel like this is applicable to YouTube in terms of what we got wrong is that like, it's hard to, I think where we are in our YouTube journey is not where we thought we were going to be.
Oh no, not at all.
But that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Like for me, it's way better. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I feel like I was so desperate for wanting to have the final product as my goal, like envisioning that, because to me it's like the advice is like, if you're like, how do you know you cross the finish line if you don't know what it looks like? You know, how do you measure progress? Like how do you know what you're building? How do you know what you're working towards if you can't envision it? And it makes sense, like, you know, I don't know, if you take it to something as very black and white as like, I want to run a faster mile, right? So say you like don't run at all and your goal is to run a 10-minute mile. You could measure literally like the numbers to get there, and you know what it is to accomplish that, and you can manifest it and envision it and stuff like that. But with YouTube, it's like, I don't know, it's just, there's just so many things. And the embarrassing part was that I thought I knew.
I know,
that's
but
all.
I feel like, I guess the reason, as an outsider looking in on that,
it's like, so
to me, it's
so
an admirable thing to see somebody going through it. And it feels like, and I could be wrong, that a month or so after quitting a job,
I was still working.
Oh, you were in May?
Yeah, I put in my notice.
Oh.
But like, I couldn't give 2 weeks notice. They gave me 6 weeks.
Oh, so you didn't, I thought you quit in April, but you gave your notice in April.
I gave my notice April 16th, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow, it's coming up on that anniversary. But
oh, that's weird.
Well, okay, so I guess this changes. I was going to say somebody who made this big change and then kind of realized, like, okay, I still have my feet on the ground, like I'm still going, the sun is still rising, the days are still happening, and that gives you a little confidence.
I mean, I really felt that shift because, like, in a way, I couldn't retract the resignation.
Yeah.
So done. The fact that, like, I was starting to tell people about it, people were asking me, like, where are you going from here? Why are you quitting? Like, what job are you getting next?
What did you tell them?
I told them I'm gonna try this YouTube thing for a bit. I'm gonna try to go solo. Yeah. So, like, you know, I feel like that's why I made this video, because every time I talked about what happened.
There's so many people outside. Come on.
Oh, Tom's gonna get. I'm gonna wait for you because I'm like talking to you. Hello. Just because it says I remember a time in our journeys, nothing to be embarrassed about. That wasn't bad at all. I know it's not that it's bad. It's just like, I don't know. I really feel a physical cringe reaction.
Well, I remember when I made my first video, I thought was, pure brilliance, and it's actually okay. But I remember my first like vlog video, like the first of the 30-day vlogs. I was like so proud of it, and I remember you going like, "Oh, I can't wait till you can look back on this and cringe," because everyone has that feeling. And I remember thinking,
I'm not gonna cringe.
I'm not gonna do that. This video is too good. Like, that might be what most people do, but like, I'm not gonna do that.
So the reason why I made that video specifically is because when I was starting to tell people about what I was doing, everyone was like, "How the hell are you gonna make money?"
Right.
Everybody.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, why is that the first?
That's still the first thing.
Why is that the first question that you ask? Like,
yeah.
It was very frustrating, and it's still.
Well, even yesterday, I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they, of course, they're like, "What do you do?" And I was like, "Oh, this is what I do." And their first thing they said was like, "Oh, like passive income," and I was like, "Yeah, I don't know, like, no, but kind of, but no, like, I don't know how to explain it." And that's why it's like I don't know how to answer that.
I guess one of the things that I noticed, like, I don't know if this has to do with the topic, but one of the things that I noticed was that the people, like, when I would tell people that I'm going to try doing YouTube, and the people who would ask me things like, oh, what are you going to make videos about? Mm-hmm. Or like, show me how you make a video, or what was your most recent video about, or, whatever that, versus the people who would ask me, like, how are you going to make money? How is that going to be, like, how's that going to work, right? To me, I feel like I could, I don't want to be judgy, but I feel like I could kind of see a difference in the risk,
of course, taking
of the person that was asking me. So, like, of course, my mom is like, how the hell are you going to make money? But someone like you didn't, like, I don't think ever you've asked me, like, how are you gonna make money
to this day.
Yeah. But like, your questions were like, oh my god, this is so cool, like, why did you how did you come up with this idea, or what made you want to do this, or like what channels do you watch, what inspires you, like those kinds of questions. I feel like, you know, it's like it's the whole, you know, what if it doesn't work versus what if it does,
right?
It's just that outlook on life. And I feel like especially if you, well, here, I'll talk to my past self, right? Like the one thing I'll give my past self a high five on is that you definitely weren't thinking, what if it doesn't work?
Right.
Like, I threw that out the window.
You had no choice.
Yeah. Because I was like, I don't want there to be a plan B. This is the plan, and it will evolve, it will change, but I'm going to freaking make it work. And I don't care. Like, there's no backup. Because I feel like if you plan for a backup, then like with my like ADHD mind, it's like having 4 channels. Like I'm always going to have, like I'm going to keep it in the field of view versus like I just need to go forward and like approach each fork in the road as it comes.
That makes sense.
Anyway, sorry.
No. Why are you sorry?
That's what I wanted to.
I think that's great. And I think there's a lot of cool
okay, here, go ahead.
Chats happening right now about
it.
Let's see here. There we go. Carissa says, I remember that time in our journey. Yeah. An introvert amateur thought that 250 blew your mind when your 250 sub channel made $15 from affiliate in the last 2 months. That's cool. I mean, there's always that thing for people where like it doesn't even matter what it's like your first dollar or whatever of ad. Like you made $1 making something. It's very different than making $1 from punching a time clock, and it is pretty cool. 4 Energy says that's just your state of mind at the time. Don't feel embarrassed about that. Goals also change, and you've grown leaps and bounds. It's not always about money. It's about being your creative and authentic self. Yeah, and that's I don't know. So I guess how do we want to approach our discussion about things being wrong on YouTube or people getting stuff wrong?
Well, okay, there's so many things I've gotten wrong, and like it's you know. It's crazy because I'm very happy with where I'm at. You know, like I feel very successful, and I every single day I wake up and I'm like, I can't believe this is my life. I'm so grateful because I know it's because of the journey, right? But there have been many costly mistakes and things that I've invested in, not just money-wise, but time-wise. Like I have been distracted with something that took a year, you know, like I ended up going in that direction for a year only to look back and be like, well, that ended up not being for me. And I think like, especially I would say the first 2-3 years of YouTube, like, you know, in 2016, like really, I felt like there was such a formula back then. I feel like now we've kind of accepted that like, you know, channels take on many different types of forms and formats, and you know, no two channels look alike. But back then I felt like there was such a formula of like, this is what a successful YouTube channel looks like, and you just crunch out the videos and like feed the algorithm. That was the thing that, you know, people kept saying that you got to feed the algorithm, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, yeah. And every time I tried to do the thing that you were supposed to do, I don't know, it felt wrong. It just didn't feel right. And I noticed that I wouldn't stick on that path for very long. And then of course, because I felt like I wasn't doing the thing that you were supposed to do, I would just beat myself up. I would just feel really bad. Like, why can't I do this? And, you know, start going in circles. But I don't know. That's one thing I got wrong.
Yeah. Freddie always says, that's a great example. I would love to watch a video talking about when the first moment you made money on content creating.
Oh, we could do that. We could do that next week.
That'd be a fun one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even normal fields like the stock market depend on the person, what perspective they have. Some say they can make money off it, so others see it as a gamble, waste of time. It's, I mean, so to take it back to YouTube, it's like everybody's goals, you know, it's, I think a common thing that happens all the time is like, you might hit a milestone on your channel, say a subscriber milestone, whatever it is, like any number that you're like, dang, I never thought my channel would hit this number. And then you'll get people saying like, congratulations, well deserved. And you'll get somebody else very well meaning going like, I can't believe you don't have more subscribers. Like, I love your video.
I know you hate this.
No, I don't hate that, but it's like, it's such a weird thing when it's like,
I love it when people say that. I just shared a comment.
No,
of
it's
someone
a
saying
kind
that.
it's a kind thing to say, but it's funny when you're saying like, wow, this thing I'm at right now is like awesome and I'm excited. And someone's like, oh man, I'm so sorry. Like, what a shame that that's all you have. And and there's no different, like you're looking at the same thing. And so it just comes down to like what your specific goals and perspective and like, you know, what your specific point of view is with what you're trying to do, which is so different. And it's so difficult because you can't help as a person but sometimes to play the comparison game where you look at what other people are doing,
Right.
not just what they're doing but how well they're doing, and you know, like there really is no correlation. You think that there should be, like, oh, we have similar channels, we do similar things, shouldn't these similar things work? No, not at all. Like it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Bailey's going to sleep. Yeah, you have been up for a while. So
Good night, Bailey.
good morning, good night.
This is what a successful YouTube channel looks like. Thanks, Action
here.
Crypto.
We're in it.
It's funny because I really should. I think I'm going to include this in the next vlog. But every single time I check my YouTube analytics for this channel, it's negative subscribers every time. And I love that. I think that's great.
She's so excited.
I know. Like, I wish I could. You know, if I could build one thing into the platform, I wish I could purge subscribers or like remove subscribers, remove followers. There's a feature on Instagram where you could like if someone follows me and they have like no pictures of their own, or they have a really weird ratio where they're following like 4,000 people but only have like 10 followers. I'm like, okay, this is a weird like account. So I just remove follower, and it's not a block. It's not a, you know, they're not going to find out that I remove them as a follower. They can discover my profile later, but
Well,
like
you had even
there's
said
just
once.
no like statement about it.
Yeah, I remember though you had said like if there was a button of, you know, purge anyone who hasn't watched a video in the last 12 months or something.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I wish that were a thing. So anyway, I'm getting a bunch of negative subscribers, which is great because it's like,
Which is great.
I'm so happy that like, I don't know, it's like the culling, I guess.
Yeah.
I forgot why I brought that up. What were you talking about?
Well, we're just talking about like someone said this is what Action Crypto
Oh,
said
yeah,
this
yeah,
is what
so
a successful channel
this
is
is
like.
what
You're
a
like, well, this is a channel that's losing subscribers. every
Yeah,
day.
right. So like, you know, it's hard because I feel like if you know, if my past self looked at my analytics, they'd probably go back and get a job. Like, oh crap. Because I'm bleeding out subscribers at this point, but I'm more happy with like the confidence I have.
Yeah.
And just the, you know, like what I'm trying to do here. And I feel like that is the more important thing. And if I could align that with more money, more of the right people, more of these other things that are very practical, you know, goals, great. But I think the thing that I got wrong is that like I approached YouTube as being a content creator versus a platform on which I could create content, right? And I feel like being a full-time content creator where you are literally getting paid to create content, and it's just like you're just a cog in the wheel, and really anybody can create the same content that you are, and you're just kind of feeding the thing. I feel like that, I don't know, like when I did that, I was very burnt out.
That's a very scary place to
Yeah.
be.
You know, versus like, what's my voice?
Yeah.
What am I trying to say to the world? What kind of impact do I want to make? Like, what kind of comments do I, or what do I want people to take away from this? You know, like yesterday, or was it yesterday I uploaded that vlog? I think it was yesterday I uploaded my most recent vlog.
Mhm.
And it was a vlog about me and Tom's like day to day. It was Monday, and I just vlogged, right? And my goal was to just vlog, but my goal as a creator, like what do I want people to take away from this is like, we are at the finish line. We're full time. Like there's no working up to that. We've been doing that. And I feel like, you know, when people think of successful YouTubers, there's this like crazy glamour, like lavish, huge, like big, crazy lifestyle that goes with it. But like for me and you, it's like, yeah, we're making videos, you're going ice skating.
That's lavish.
Now we're eating lunch, and then we're gonna go to a hockey game. And like that, you know, and I just wanted to keep that for me. You know, it's like if 2016 Heather could watch a future video, it's
right.
Like,
that'd be cool.
I would have loved to live this, you know, like this is cool. I'm glad that we can show a different, I don't know, like path, you know. I'm glad that we could show a different,
What's something that's always super interesting to me, which is why the perspective of you being glad to lose subscribers is interesting, because when we met, you were like celebrating milestones. I hit 5,000, I hit 8,000, 10,000 was a big one. And the thing, like, I'm so fascinated about channels that have been around for a long time. So 7 years in your case is a long time. Other channels, like I was talking about Marquez Brownlee or iJustine, like, which obviously like they're huge channels, but they've been doing it for over 10 years, and they can't, like, I'm sure that their metrics for success have changed. Obviously, like, they have changed, their channel has changed, the platform has changed, but they've had to sort of like shift and navigate.
Yeah.
And I feel like that those two are some examples of people who have, even you could watch it now where they are at a level of like huge success objectively on kind of every way. And you can still see like the person filming with an old webcam, 12 years ago or something. Like, and I think that that's really like, there's a lot of talk when you make a YouTube channel about getting started, hitting milestones, doing this, best practices, but there really isn't a lot of talk about, okay, how do you maintain it? How do you sustain it? How do you evolve it? How do you adapt? Obviously there's no one right way to do that. And I think a lot of the reason is because people tend to give up before it becomes an issue. Like, they had their channel for 2 years, it got to where it got, and then they stopped. So they never needed to, like...
Yeah, we've also seen like people who've risen, like, who, basically went viral, and then because there's no thought into the sustainability, it kind of died.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's, you can see when someone pours their heart and soul and all their energy into it, but it's so intense. It's like a firework. Like it's just so intense and so short, and it's not sustainable, that it falls apart. And it's, that's something you and I never wanted to do, because and that's why I feel guilty so many times. Like, if I've been a guest on someone else's show, they'll always go like, what do you got next? What's the goal for the next whatever? And I'm like, I don't want to sound unambitious or like, but there is no, I don't want a team of 10 people. I don't want.
There is no next. And I think
it was like, the goal is to this. This is but I haven't known how to phrase that of like you were saying, where's the finish line? Well, it's just sort of like a finish area. Like, it's like this space over here, and there's different levels. But I know.
I really think though, when people ask like, "Oh, what's next?" They're thinking.
I know they're they're not coming.
I don't know. Yeah, like this new lens is coming out. Are you excited about that, Tom?
Well, I mean, there's that kind of stuff too, but yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, actually, I unsubscribe right before you check every time. What was the year-long distraction? Oh, there have been many
years.
Yeah. It's hard because I don't want to put anyone on blast, but yeah, there's been things that, like, I don't know, I see someone doing something a certain way, and it's like, oh crap, that's totally working for them. I got to do it that way too. Yeah.
Which, I mean, it totally makes sense, because you are an all or nothing person, and so if you're feeling at a point where you're like, what I'm doing doesn't seem to be working,
and this seems to be working,
and then I've seen you spend so much time planning and strategizing, like, this is what I'm going to do, and then I will go for it. But then,
like, okay, so here's one of the things I did. One of the things that I did was, when I moved here, I got super involved with the small business, like chambers of commerce, like space, right?
Yeah, local business, local networking.
Local business, like local networking. I was the chair of the Indio Chamber of Commerce. I don't know. I went to networking events like once or twice a week.
I've lived in this area.
I've done a bunch of speaking
pretty much my whole
like,
life. Heather knew more people here in 6 months than I knew in the previous 34 years or however old I was at the time.
It was like really, and it was easy. It was so easy to network here because it's a small town. It's like, even though it spans a large area, it's very small town feel. And it's there's not that many people to know. There's just, it's just not as populous as somewhere like LA.
Right.
So to know everyone who's kind of a mover and shaker, like it doesn't take that long. You know, go to enough events and you'll meet everybody. And I'm the only girl with purple hair and backwards hat and a camera. So it's very easy for, I was memorable and what I was doing was definitely unique. There was no one else doing it. And so it was, I don't know, kind of easy to insert myself and get to know everybody. And of course I did it with the intention of I'm going to find clients to make videos for, or to coach them, or to, they can book consultations with me. And, I did that for a while, but like, I had like awesome clients and awesome projects, but I also feel like I'm glad I'm not doing that anymore. Like, I don't think I ever would. If I had to, I could. But like, I don't want to,
Why not?
Well, so one of the biggest things was that because I was mainly networking with local business and the chambers of commerce, their goal is to make more money. And so they looked at YouTube as marketing, and that's it. And like whenever, like every single time I had a client, except for one, maybe two, it was always like coming at it with the approach of like, here's why we're the best business and why you should hire us and like why we're amazing.
Basically.
Yeah. Which of course, like I get that's why you do it. But also like for me and the way that I've approached everything is showing the story and like how you got to that point. So it's like, you don't have to say why you're good, but you explaining the why behind this service will like it'll speak for itself, and people will have gotten to know you. They'll have gotten to know the business owner. They'll have a connection that's, way deeper than a freaking commercial. I don't know if it's because I couldn't explain that or what, but I felt like many times where I was like, okay, time to make another commercial today because I'm tired of explaining myself. And like, I had to tell myself like, I'm not getting paid to help them make a YouTube channel the way that I think they should. I'm getting paid to help them make the videos that they want to make.
Right.
If they ask me my opinion on what I think they should do, sure, I'll help them. But like a lot of the times it's like, a lot of them were like, yeah, tell me, you're the expert, tell me. And I would tell them, and it's like, showing that vulnerable side is hard, and I get it. Like that's hard for someone who wants to position them as hireable and like
Well, I don't know if she's in the chat, but I'm thinking of Jackie the hot tub lady as someone who does it really well.
Yeah.
Like yes, she has a business where you can buy hot tubs, which are a big investment, and you can get service for those and accessories for those. But her channel,
but you could also tell, like her passion for this industry is undeniable.
Yeah, her channel is about like the lifestyle, health benefits, maintenance, like it's the whole thing.
Like
and
she literally wants everyone to experience what it's like to have a hot tub, and that's not even like you can buy it from anybody, but like she is just, that's her passion. Like that's just super what she's into.
But it's simple, and we discovered her when we were literally buying a hot tub. We're like, how do we clean it? How do we do this? Whatever. And that's a case where you just find someone. She's not selling anything in her videos. She's not telling you like, buy the hot tub for me. But after you watch enough and you build the rapport, I mean, we don't live in the same area, but if we happen to live in a place where we could buy a hot tub from her, it totally, okay, let's get it from her. Like I trust her.
It was really hard to stop doing that though, because like so many people were like, don't you want to get paid? Don't you want my money? Like, what are you doing? I had people ask me like, oh, what are you doing instead? You know, and finally when the pandemic happened, that was my excuse, because like, oh, I've shifted my business. Sorry, don't do that anymore.
Well, you did shift your business, yeah.
But
well, there's also the local thing too is tough, because in a weird way, the thing that it reminds me of is when someone makes a YouTube video, and like I do this too. Like I made a YouTube video today, put the link. I have a little link tree on Instagram or whatever, so I always, most recent videos, most current link, cool. I see so many people, like something comes out and they'll take the link to their video and they'll go to every social media and paste it, and they'll put it in an email to do this and the other thing. It's like that. On a certain level, you might be showing people the video that need to see it. Someone who signed up for your mailing list might actually want to know. They might have missed the notification or whatever. But whatever work and time you're putting into that is just zero compared to what YouTube could do. Like if I'm not saying play the algorithm game, but if YouTube as a platform has so much more power and reach for you to do this thing. So it kind of reminds me of like, I'm doing this online global business in a local chamber of commerce. I
get sad. I get sad when people are like, when I can't explain how everyone should just be on YouTube and how everything else is a waste of time. Like I just can't. And that's when I just smile, and it's like, okay, I'm not getting paid to explain this. Like I'm getting paid to make this video. And then I had to stop because I'm not a videographer, dude. There are way more people who are qualified in the area that love videography, and
right.
It's not
they can
me.
make you an amazing commercial.
Yeah. And it's not what I wanted to do. And it's crazy because I became that person. I became the video person, and I got so many emails, so many calls to this day. Literally, while you were on your live stream, I was replying no to an email of like, I have an idea for something. Can we grab a coffee? And I'm like, no, dude, we're not grabbing a coffee.
Grabbing coffee's picking brains.
No, I'm sorry. I don't know. Yeah, anyway. So there's a lot of, like, that's just one example. Oh my God, when I worked at a co-working space, that was a whole friggin' year distraction, which haunts me to this day. Like literally this morning.
Oh yeah, you were going to a place.
Like it's hard. You really have to surround yourself with the people who are like-minded, and this is what I love about the couples table and like Just Create More and like the people that we've been able to meet, because I feel like this space that we have created gets it. Otherwise you wouldn't be here.
Right.
You wouldn't be listening to this.
Why would you
wouldn't
do that?
Yeah. But yeah, there were so many people so we work as a co-working space. I'm sure you've heard of it. This is pre-Purple Hair, or maybe in the middle of it, but this is 2016. I was still getting started, and then I was getting ready for my first VidCon. And a lot of the people were there like, oh my God, you're going to a con? Like, you're going to a con. You should have started prep forever ago, because you got to make business cards and you got to get ready to like, what's your spiel and like who are you going to talk to? And yeah. And I was like, dude, I just want to go and have fun. Like, I have no expectation. It made me feel like I was supposed to have expectations, but I just wanted to go. Like, it was, and It's hard to, like, when you talk about your YouTube channel and you're like, there is no next step. There is no next level. Like, I am happy where I'm at. I want to keep it sustainable. And you're so sure about like, I will make an ethics statement, even though it means that, a bunch of companies probably don't want to work with me, but you're so confident in setting your boundaries, right? I was the opposite of that. It was like as soon as someone asked me a question of like, why aren't you doing this? I would melt. Like, oh my God, what should I not be? Oh, I should be doing this instead. And, it's like, I think part of that is just naivete, but yeah, that took me down some really distracting, very time consuming distractions.
You wouldn't know that they could have not been that. It could
like
have been,
I said, yeah. I am very happy with where I'm at, and I fully acknowledge I would not be where I'm at if not for every single distraction. But like, it's been a journey. We've taken some turds.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
We got
Dash with
lots of
Ash.
stuff. We got
What's
Ash
up?
here.
Cat's
We
in the
got
house
Cat.
too.
We got
Doc,
Doc. We
what's
got
up?
Obs. We should probably
We're
probably
like-
catch up a bit here.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Obs
Oh, there
is
we
in
go.
the house.
What did Action Crypto say? Go up a little bit. Tom, are you trying to say that your point of view is just a point from a point, not to
A
put
view from a point.
not to put too fine a point on it, but that was the point.
I like Tom. I don't know much people. My wife is like Heather. She just connects with people so easily. I get to know more people who are nice thanks to her. Aw,
Yeah.
that's so cute. That viewpoint reminds me of the movie The Christmas Inheritance. Gotta know how it started to appreciate where it's grown to. I don't know that movie.
I don't either, but the idea of
We should watch that.
well, I was thinking of The Expanse. If you've read or watched The Expanse,
Highly recommend.
it's amazing. But I think it's 300 years from now is when it takes place, and humans have colonized Mars. They're in like the third generation or so of Martians, like people who have colonized Mars. And the goal there from the people who came from Earth, landed on Mars and started colonizing it, the goal is to terraform it, to make it into a planet and wide open spaces and all this kind of stuff. But now they're however many generations in, and it's all people who have been born in, tunnels underground. They've never had wide open spaces, and they don't have that itch. They don't have the desire. And so there's this like generational thing where people are like worried about the future of the planet because the current generation doesn't share their goals, but they don't, like, why would they? They don't know that's, if you came from Earth and you're like, oh, I go outside and look at the sky right now and not get sucked into space or suffocate, that's cool. But they're just like, we live in small tunnels. This is our, like, we don't have, it's an interesting thing of like, I don't know, generational wealth. Maybe that's kind of what the movie's about, where, you work so hard to build up this financial security for your family. Now you can provide for your family in a way that, you couldn't be provided for. And then, I don't know, them or the generation after, at a certain point, it's like, yeah,
I feel that with my parents all
just
the
what we have.
time. We just care about completely different things. And I know it's because, they were immigrants. I was not. There's a huge generational difference. Like,
Right.
Like, what do you mean you don't want kids?
If making money is why you want to be a creator, you are 88% likely to fail. Is that because I'm wondering why?
See, like, so
if your goal is fame, join AGT.
I completely agree with this for me. But the thing is, like, I've met many people who are, the thing that I would say differentiates me and somebody who goes into it wanting to make money and that does is that they're no way as emotional as I am. Like, my emotions play a huge part in like my capability to create and like my strategy and stuff like that. But there are some people who like, I think of so many full-time 9-to-5 jobs. How the hell do you do that day in, day out?
Do you know part of...
Who cares how much you get paid? But the fact that you do that day in, day out, like, you could do it. It's the same thing with YouTube. Like, you could, find something that you're kind of like whatevers, but if you can figure out the formula and you have an awesome, video setup and you just do it consistently, I really believe that it's possible. And I think that there are people who can just be like, they're just not as emotionally attached because it doesn't really matter who's making the content. And if you're just like, okay, I think of, sorry, I know I cut you off.
I don't
but
remember
like
what I was gonna say.
the people who like, do compilation videos. Like, they're not even in the video, but they're taking like videos of other people or, wherever on the internet and making compilation videos, and that's your thing. And you get paid every time you upload. Like, you can do that. It's just that I just can't do that. Like,
right.
It's
not your thing.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say that if your goal is to make money, you're going to fail. I do think, though, that if you go into it, like Doc said, as a giver and like using it as a an avenue to help people, to empower people, like, of course, that, that's what I do. That's what we do. So that's what worked for us. But I definitely think that there are people who have no freaking care in the world to empower anybody.
Right. No, that's not.
And they just want to make money, and you could.
I remember
you could totally do that.
A number of years ago, we were meeting up with a group of friends who then friend of friend was a successful full-time YouTuber.
Who is this?
They're not currently making YouTube videos
I know
anymore.
who this is.
This was the first time, I think my channel at the time was
I know who this is, yeah.
a couple thousand subscribers. And this was the first time I encountered someone who was full-time. I think they had 250, 300,000, something like that.
Yeah, it was the most that we'd ever
the most
met.
I'd ever encountered in real life.
Yeah.
And I remember having...
Aside from like me going to VidCon and meeting people like Zach King.
I had never gone to a VidCon yet, though.
Okay, so this was like the first person face-to-face. We are introducing ourselves.
To someone who, like, I'm talking to you right now, and your job is you're going to go home and make YouTube videos. And that's what you do.
Yeah.
I even had the thought, I was like... This is kind of embarrassing, but I had the thought of like, this person has touched a silver play button. That's crazy. Because it's like, that's a different, to me, that was just a different level from, you know, everything I knew. And this person.
Sorry. Go ahead.
This person made.
Are you going to say it?
No. I don't. I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I completely lost my train of thought.
Okay, so this person made completely different content.
Oh, no. Yeah, it was a weird thing because they were very averse to, like, there were a couple other people there who were kind of goofing around going like, hey, like, can you be in my video real quick? And they were very like, no, I'm not going to be in anybody's anything. Like, you do not put me in a thing, which I was like, oh, okay, whatever. But then, as we're just kind of like chilling, I guess, they find out that we have YouTube channels and then kick into the mode of like, I'm going to give you advice on how to be successful. And it really was like, you need to take whatever's working with your personality and make it extreme. Like, you need to be super extreme. Sure, you could do whatever you want, but you need to do it to like...
You need to be crazy.
Crazy. I remember the words crazy and the words extreme and like, you need to go whatever. And I remember sitting there going like, that's not how I operate. I don't think I could do that. But I'm sitting there going like, my channel's like not growing crazy fast. This person,
I guess I gotta be crazy.
is doing as a full. I at the time never thought of doing it as a full-time job, so I wasn't really coming at it from that angle. But I was really thinking like, oh, I guess if I want this to happen, is that what you have to do? Yeah. And I never did. I just made peace with the fact of like, well, if that's what you have to do, that's not what I want to do.
I totally made a crazy
it's
video.
Not for me. But the follow-up to that is, I don't know, within a year or two of that person totally off the platform, hasn't made a video since because they just
completely
went too crazy and stuff did not work out. And it's
I think what happened was that they went too crazy, and I feel like at a certain point, it's the whole monkey dance.
It was just
your community. Well, they're not your community anymore. They tell you what to do, and you just become the performer.
And you need to one up it every time a little bit more.
And I feel like that's just you selling your soul. Like there goes
it's not
your soul.
Sustainable. So it was a little longer than a firework because they had several years to get to that point. But yeah, they just hit a point where it's like, most of us, if you have hundreds of thousands of subscribers and every video you make is insanely popular, that's where you're like, well, I don't think that's when I'd quit. But this person, because they had gotten to this non-sustainable point, that's when they hung it up and haven't done anything since.
Yeah, and like honestly, in our 7 years, we've met a lot of people that's happened to.
Yeah, that was like the biggest case that I know of. I've known lots of people, but I haven't known anyone with
who had everything. Like you have to try really hard. You have to intentionally stop in order to fail. And that's exactly what they did. Like they just
pulled the plug and they were done. Yeah.
Exactly. Like they were, I would have said, within 6 months, if you had kept it up, you would have gotten another, 500,000 subscribers easily.
Probably, yeah. So you were very excited. Kat is coming to Anaheim. What?
We have 2 hockey games this weekend though, Saturday and Sunday. So
this weekend.
Yeah, I don't know if we can swing an Anaheim trip, but
you should come to a hockey game. Whether you're more like a Tom or more like a Heather, both are pretty awesome to be similar to.
I love your hair, Ash. Have you seen her hair?
No.
Well, it's not. It is purple. It's like it's in the purple family, but it's almost like a nice, like a lilac-y.
Okay. Heather's very specific about her shades of purple. Kathy's here. Hey, Kathy. Dash is a Heather and can't create unless my head's into it. I am fully self-employed and wish I had I'm that too. Like, I don't know what image I put off, but I can't if I'm thrown off, or even honestly, if you're having a bad day, I can't go like
I love you.
make something. So it's
love
a
you,
very
babe.
specific thing. But yeah, F that 9-to-5 life. Can't ever do that again. Preach. Yes, that should just be your channel slogan. Doc Rock.
It's
F that
funny
9-to-5
because
life.
like it's funny because like on my dark days I'm like, why the hell am I doing this to myself? I should just get 9 to 5.
There's
It's
nothing
so easy.
I mean, I know
It
so
would
many
be
people
so much
who
easier.
there are so many people who love their 9-to-5s and have like they do really cool stuff and don't want like I get to do this cool thing for these set hours and then I don't have to worry about it and I just do whatever I want or nothing and it's fine. And so
Well, I feel like also now, like post-pandemic, I feel like just workplaces in general have shifted where, okay, you can work from home now. Remote jobs are like very
way more common.
normal. Yeah, common. People are setting boundaries. Like the idea that you have, just because we have email and messaging doesn't mean that someone's accessible 24/7. Like this is a very different work culture than
Yeah.
it was 7 years ago.
And we have a lot of people, Carissa, Ash, Freddie, all joining in there. Even Aubrey. More puns.
We need to know who this is.
Here's this interior design channel. Oh, shoot, sorry. Let's see. What was I gonna say? I don't remember what I was gonna say. I think I was trying to think of a dumb pun.
I guess like one thing that like I would tell myself too, or something that I got wrong, is that I think in some cases it is a innate talent, like when it comes to YouTube. You know, like, okay, Nick, since you're here, like I really think the way that you talk about things is very you.
No one else could do that.
Yeah, and I feel like it would be hard I feel like it just wouldn't land the same way if someone took, copy pasted and tried to do it. I just don't think that it would land with the same impact. So I definitely think that there are things that are like I don't know, innate abilities or natural talents when it comes to YouTube, but I also think that because YouTube is so big, like even if you leaned into the weird thing that you're into, I feel like anybody can do it. And that's what I wish I could tell myself back in 2016, because I felt like when I was first starting, I felt like I was about to say that I wasn't good enough, but obviously I didn't think that enough to stop me because I kept going. But like there were so many times where I felt like I'm not crazy enough, I'm not extreme enough, I'm not like, now I need a boosted board, which like I'm happy I got one, but like that wasn't gonna that's not the thing that was gonna like change everything, and
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, there's no right or wrong, but I also
there's wrongs.
It's different for everyone. That's my point.
Very
it's different for everybody.
Very different for everybody. Yeah, for sure.
And I really do believe that like anybody can do it, and probably someone has done it with less than you have.
Yeah, well, I think the on camera, whether you're actually on camera, you're doing voice, like the personality part of it is so undersold, because that's a thing, and I see that as a gear centric channel in a lot of ways. That's a big thing that pops up. Like, you're not a pro, you don't know what you're talking about, you don't know this, you can't do this, you only use it for YouTube videos. And it's like,
this is a side note, but seeing people like talk about Tom's personality in like a negative way is hard for me. It's hard. Like I want to go in there and be like, yo, that's my husband you're talking to.
Moderator here.
Yeah.
No, but like that's the big thing, and I've done podcasts about this. Oh, it's just for YouTube, why do you know that? And it's like, okay, you could come in here with all your monitors and your waveforms and your logs and your this and your that, and you could have the most technically perfect production that the world has ever seen, and you're completely overlooking the part that you could get in, that person I'm talking about could get in front of a camera and be like as boring as a potato, or a potato would be more interesting because at least they do stuff sometimes. Like, and that's a big thing too, like especially in the camera niche, is like I don't want to hear from you, I want to hear from a professional cinematographer. And it's like I have found so many channels from directors of photography, where the channel is just a side thing, and I'm not criticizing them, but their setup is beautiful, their explanation is beautiful, or their whole thing is beautiful, but what they're trying to convey, the info, it's unintelligible. Like they cannot communicate the thing, no matter, even though they're really good at it, even though this is good. It's literally like somebody in a very perfectly lit thing going like, get the cinema camera. And
well, I think, so like one advantage that I feel like is an innate talent or something that you know, something that is unique to you that I don't think anyone thought would matter is that you have years of experience being a teacher.
Right.
Like teaching not just anybody, but high school students specifically. Okay, so not only do you have to like
known for their long attention spans,
be clear, but you have to be entertaining and captivating, and like it's different. It's different than teaching like adults who want to be there or adults who don't want to be there, or middle school kids who
This is what, I didn't mean this as like, look how great we are, but I mean the on-camera part is so overlooked, and that has nothing to do with gear or technical skill level. And when people are good at it, which doesn't mean you have to be extreme, but when people are good at it, good at anything, they make it look easy. So like the hockey games we've been going to lots lately, it's like playoff season, so it's lots of hockey. The pro athletes on the ice make ice skating look so easy. They're not even thinking about it. They're focused on what they're trying to do, and their ankles are doing these things. They're on edges. They're like, they make it look so easy. And so I sit there and I watch. I'm like, okay, I get it. I see what they're doing. I could do this. And then I go to the little practice rink the next day and just fall down because it's so hard. Like when someone is really good at something, they can make it look effortless. And then you don't forget the reason that those skaters make that look effortless is because they've been doing it for 25 years, like almost every day. It is effortless to them at this point, but it takes a lot to get there. And I think that that's an overlooked thing in the world of YouTube and stuff, is that, everybody can do it, but you're not going to jump in at your zenith,
Well, that's why I don't know. I need to find out whose quote that was about how like YouTube is an ongoing journey of self-improvement. Because I if you go to any conference or pick up any book or listen to any podcast, like everything is going to be about like, okay, here's an example. Okay. I have 2 Twitter accounts. I have one for Heather Just Play, and I have one for, it's called Just Create More because Heather Just Create wouldn't fit. So it's called Just Create More. But that's like, on that account, I follow content creation, YouTube creators, and, that stuff. When I made Heather Just Play, and like, I think throughout the pandemic, I just started to get really annoyed every time I would log into my main Twitter account because it was just
you
like,
should, you need
it was
to,
so,
you're not.
It was a lot of like just finger pointing with YouTube that annoyed me because it's like they were making it not fun for me, and I don't know. I just had to stop. And then I would go onto my other Twitter account that was like, here's anime and video games and like super fun stuff. And, every time it's like, I'm happy now. 3 hours ago, I was like, Tom, what are we going to talk about in the couples table? He's like, I don't know, whatever. And then we were brainstorming ideas. And I was like, let me just check my Just Create More Twitter. So I did. The first tweet I see is from Daryl Eves, who said like, I unfollowed after I saw this, but it was like, I don't know, 407 views and 300 million. No, that's not even a number. Yes. 400 million views and 300,000 subscribers in 5 months. And then like same crazy astronomical numbers, like for 2 lines. And then it had like 2 avatars, and it was like, these 2 creators are going to be speaking at Vid Summit. Like, guess who they are or whatever. And I don't know who they are, but immediately I was like, I got annoyed, and I just unfollowed Gerald Eves because I was like, I don't like, this isn't necessarily a good thing, like this isn't.
I thought you'd be happy about the announcement that I was going to be at Vid Summit this year.
It's like, it's not like, I don't know. I hate the, like the inclination that like, oh, obviously these 2 people are successful. Don't you want to hear from them? Yeah. And then if you go, I know I'm assuming, I know I'm being super judgmental here, and, you know, put me in my place. I'm losing subscribers every day. I am aware of this, okay? But I feel like if you were to go to Vid Summit, like a lot of it is going to be about like, I don't know, this is the thing that catches the most attention. So this is why you have to do it. It's the same advice of like, you got to be crazy. You got to be extreme. You got to go big.
Oh my gosh.
And there's no like, you know, thought into, oh, you know what? You have teaching experience, like what, 12 years of teaching experience, like, hey, that can factor in, but you have to figure out how to do that. Nobody can tell you how to do that. You can't attend a conference talk. You can't, you know, no one else is going to.
Former teachers turned YouTubers.
No one else is going to tell you how to do that. Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the thing that, like, I don't know, I feel like that can almost, you know, honestly, if you ask me, I would be willing to bet that it plays a bigger part or it can make a bigger impact than all these other, you know, how to make a better thumbnail and like, you know, what's the ideal video length.
I saw this video was suggested to me yesterday. I didn't finish it, but I got about halfway through, and it was a Colin Samir video called I think it's called Plagiarism is a Big Problem on YouTube or something like that.
It is.
The video's called that, or it is a problem?
It's a problem.
Yeah, well, they're showing videos, and these are from bigger channels. So they'll show a video from a channel that has like 3 million subscribers, and then they'll show another video from a channel that's like 1 million, and it is it's not the same video like a re-upload, but it is a shot-for-shot remake of the video with the same like text on screen, like scripted. Like they just stole this transcript from the first video and now are reading it again, cut to the frame. Like they, you know, because this really successful video, the way it's cut, the way it's edited, maximizes algorithmic retention or something. And now they're just doing the exact same thing to the point where one of the examples was somebody's, it must have been a short or it was a vertical video that was literally like on their phone, and it was them. I think they were going to eat at like a restaurant in a shady area, and so they were like, we're pulling up to the restaurant, and they like filmed the restaurant, and they're in the car, and they're like, there's a police helicopter, and they like filmed the police helicopter over the restaurant, like, you know, setting the scene. And then somebody else redid that, including like footage of a helicopter, and like, which clearly was not even the same day. The sky changed in between like the two shots. But it's like, and the weird thing though is like, both the original version in these cases, and I didn't get to the end of the video yet, but the original and the plagiarized version were both metrically successful. Huge views.
Well, of course.
Huge revenue.
So that's why it's like, you know, I mean, you want to talk about making money on YouTube. There's one way to do it. You could do that.
But there's no way, like, if you want to talk about creative fulfillment, there's no way the person doing and that's not why they're doing it. They're not doing it to be creatively fulfilled or to like
to help people,
to have
or be a giver, or
they're doing it to get
yeah.
big numbers equal big paycheck, and that's it. And you know.
And like, look, I'm not going to judge you. Whatever, you do you.
Well,
I can't do that, though.
A thing that's interesting to me is I've heard interviews. I often say don't look at big channels as examples of what to do because it's such a different universe. Like,
yeah, it's a totally different.
Especially, world. I mean, especially when someone crosses the 1 million mark. That's like a very
not even like 500,000.
I mean,
would say,
honestly,
you know?
that's probably true too. But especially into it's just not even. It's not the same at all. But something that is interesting to me is I've seen a number of interviews and podcasts and stuff with people in the millions who are almost oblivious to things in like a really endearing way. Like, so there's two sides of it. I heard a thing with Peter McKinnon where somebody was like, are you getting recognized everywhere? And he was like, no, like nobody knows who I am where I go. Like 5 or 6 million people on YouTube is not the same. Like it's like, no, nobody knows who I am or what I do, which I thought was very interesting because you think, you know, if he went to
Walmart
NAB next or something,
oh,
like
if
he went to, you know,
VidCon.
B&H Photo, he's going to get
Summit,
recognized.
yeah.
If he goes to Walmart, I
No
don't know what Canada
care.
Walmart, I guess it's just Walmart is, Maple Mart, he's not going to get recognized. At the same time, I've heard interviews and podcasts with people in the millions where they will discover things like TubeBuddy or vidIQ, and they're like, "Wait, are you serious? There's an app that like gives you like." They have gotten to 6 million subscribers, something, and they don't even know that's even a thing, like, or they've
Yeah.
never put a tag in a video, or
Yeah.
whatever the traditional best practices are, they're just oblivious to it. And obviously, that's not why they're successful, but it's interesting to me that it can be so different for so many people, and you can find such examples of success, where it's like, oh, I've done none of the best practices that you're going to see commonly listed aren't things that I do, but the channel is successful for all these intangible reasons that a lot of times hinge on that specific person because they are unique in doing something unique.
Right. It's them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain that. But okay, Neil says, looking to make a major change in my life in the next few months, taking a step back from my 30-year career in network engineering and opting to start producing content that helps others.
I think that's awesome.
That's very exciting.
Yeah. And
Good luck. That's awesome.
yeah. The caveat I will give is because of the kind of stuff that I make, I have a lot of people who have very long careers in video and audio and stuff.
You'll get it too.
No. They're telling me what's wrong, and it's not that they're wrong, but I have seen so many high-level people, I guess we kind of talked about this, unable to explain things. Like, they will give a very technical explanation of why something is correct or the correct way to do stuff. I can't understand it. Nobody else can understand it. So not everyone's trying to get to that level and remembering how to take, the thing that you have spent decades learning and distilling it into core concepts that can be easily understood. And like, you're not trying to answer every question for everybody, but sometimes you're just trying to let them know what questions to ask next. And then like,
I like that.
That's a really tough thing that I've seen people with a lot of experience struggle to overcome, because they just like, everyone should know everything I know now.
Right.
I'm not here for potato slandered.
I wish I could be as conversational as Tom and Heather. Sometimes the teleprompter is a savior. Well, same. It's just,
all of this is
my
in our
husband.
prompter right now. Yeah. See, it says Heather. This is the same. He's my husband. Tom points at prompter. Everything is in the Yeah, it's all right there.
Hassan, I feel like I'm boring as a potato in all my videos. I think the personality of it takes time for some people to establish once a lot of videos are made consistently, or at least that's what I hope for me. I mean, go watch Tom's first video.
No. But one, don't do that. But also,
if you watch Tom's first video compared to the one uploaded this morning, I would love a side by side of that.
Well, I was gonna say for Hassan was, I think sometimes, because when I think of you, I don't think of you as being boring at all.
Yeah, same.
I actually really love watching your videos. I love how you explain stuff. I feel the feeling I get when I watch your videos is a very like down to earth and relaxed vibe. Like, I feel just kind of calm, and I'm enjoying somebody. I feel like it's a focused time to talk about a subject, and it's enjoyable, but it's not boring. And I think sometimes people think that if you're not just screaming and there's text on screen all over the place or whatever, that means boring. Interesting doesn't mean loud. It doesn't mean crazy. Like, it can be very low key and it can be very relaxed, but
yeah. Okay. So I don't know, a couple of videos ago, I made a video about how I feel when people ask me how many subscribers I have. And I almost cut out the first 25 seconds because it's just a montage of me entering my office, turning on the lights, lighting a candle, and then like sitting in my chair. And I was like, this is so pointless. But I was like, I think I'm gonna leave it in, and then I'm gonna make Tom watch it. I'm gonna see if he's like, okay, I should take it out. Like, get to the point. I mean, come on, talk about.
That's the first 25 seconds of the video. You have to maximize CTR and AVD,
like,
and
you got to get people's attention right
GTF
away.
and WTFs.
Like, you're gonna just show your feet walking into the office, and then you're gonna light a candle or whatever. I cannot tell you how many people are like, oh, I loved the sequence of you going into your office, the storytelling. Like even my brother was like, oh, you really set the tone and the vibe for like the conversation you were about to have. And I was like, okay, it's a thing. My point is, like, if you are the whole like calm and I don't know, like just not crazy is not necessarily boring. And it could be, I've gotten feedback whenever I've done it that it's actually a good thing.
Yeah.
So there you go. Anyway, Mihal, I would love to hear you talk about the subject of finding your YouTube personality.
That I feel like,
Let's
yeah,
write this
I would
down.
love to talk about it too, but I think that's something to dedicate a whole show to.
Yeah, finding your.
That's a great one, honestly.
Keep giving us ideas because we're always like, what the hell are we gonna do right now? The tale of two Twitter accounts. Yes. Oh my god, I should pull up both and show you the. My energy levels look so low. It looks boring. Have to get better at that, but at least the audience doesn't mind in the last videos. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing.
No, you don't need to be crazy high energy to be good.
It's helpful to know the camera steals your energy, so you have
it
to
does.
exaggerate a bit.
I used to tell my students this when I was teaching broadcast. I would be like, have you guys ever heard that the camera adds 10 pounds? They'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, the camera takes away like 50% of your energy. So
Wow.
like you need to, because I would have these students and they would be, you know, they're 16, 17-year-old kids doing like broadcast goofy stuff. They'd be like so fun and interesting. And then we would like do a rehearsal or do the broadcast. And then I'd be like, good morning. Today's announcements are this. And I'm like, no. And then I'd be like, you know, got to put energy into it. And they'd be like, good morning. And I'm like, you have to be, which I'm not saying you have to be, but I would tell them sometimes like, you almost have to be like where it feels uncomfortably energetic to you. And it's actually just going to seem normal. Not that you have to do that all the time, but that was a bit of advice I gave them in this case. And I gave them that because when I started teaching, one of my like instructing teachers said that I spoke way too fast, which as I went on, I was like, that sucks. They got to keep up. But I would get nervous and I would talk even faster. And so they were like, you need to talk more slowly. So I would talk slowly and they would go talk so slowly that you almost feel ridiculous and it will sound normal to them. And so I'd be like, okay, what we need to do right now is open up the English Lit book to page 253. And I was like, they're going to think I had a stroke or something. And it was like, no, like, I don't know. It just, there's weird things where like what you feel and what is being perceived don't always line up, but that doesn't mean
That's
that
like
you
always.
Yeah, true.
Kat says, I stumbled across 5 or 6 videos with almost the exact same title and same words on their thumbnails. Do some creators coordinate making the same video?
I mean, it depends. Are you talking about the Sony ZV-E1? And I mean, I think there's certain things where it's like, I actually had to send a message to a friend because my video that came out today is how to make your mic sound good with the Rodecaster Pro 2. And so it's a picture of the Rodecaster, a picture of a microphone. Like a week ago, one of my friends who has a different channel uploaded a video how to set up the Shure SM7B with the Rodecaster. It's not the same thumbnail. It's kind of the same thumbnail, SM7B Rodecaster. And I had to send him a thing and I was like, look, next week you're going to see a video from me. It's going to have a very similar title and thumbnail, but I'm showing you right now that it's actually already been uploaded and I'm not copying your idea at all. And he was like, oh yeah, no problem, of course. But sometimes it's just like
we're on the same wavelength.
You're on the same wavelength
Yeah.
in how to communicate things. Yeah.
I do also feel though, like if you're out of ideas, I feel like people take peeks.
Yeah.
What's this guy doing? Your YouTube personality should be your real personality. That way it's not work to maintain. It's you.
The world of
That's what I
YouTube
was
is
gonna say.
most commonly filled with people who are like, oh, you're the same.
Yeah.
And that's always nice.
No, I was going to what did you just say?
When you meet people in real life, it's like, oh, you're you. Like,
No, you said most people. That's how it is.
the world of YouTube, most people I met on YouTube, they're the same.
Oh, yeah.
as
Of
the
course.
person I-
Most people that Tom has met. Most people I've met. Not the same.
Oh.
Like definitely.
I guess I haven't met as many.
Definitely turned up, ramped up, like give the viewers what they want. This is for the views. Like, obviously, like when we met Kat, I was just kidding. Yeah, totally the same. But a lot of people like at, VidCon or something, it's like when the camera's off, it's different.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's not the same personality.
Doc says I'm not talking fast, you're listening slow. That's what I should have told him.
Kathy says, I got the same advice as a first-year teacher, talking too fast.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. And the thing that actually helped me, this is 2011, way pre having a YouTube channel, was the Film Riot YouTube channel, because the main host, they've talked about this, the main host talks really, really fast. And when their channel was new and he was 10 years younger, he talked really, really, really fast. And some of their first videos, because they're still around, some of their first videos, he even says like, got some comments in the last video that I was talking too fast, so I'll work on talking slowly. And then there were like 5 or 6 videos where he's trying to be, and it doesn't work. And finally there's a video where he's like, I've tried talking slowly, I'm sorry, it's not how my brain works, this is what it is. Like, and I love that. And I was like, I like that you tried to do something that works and you try to take that in, but it doesn't fit. It's like not using bad jokes or something. Like, that's not something I'm like, someone was like, you're trying to show off how smart you are with all the wordplay. And I was like, first of all, no one has ever accused me of being smart because of these jokes. And second, I can't stop. Like, the brain won't stop.
It still continues. Like, he'll grab something out of the fridge and say something. He'll talk to the dogs in puns. Like, it doesn't stop.
It needs to stop. It just doesn't stop.
Freddie always. The camera made me realize I gained 20 pounds and they didn't go away when I turned the camera off. Kat says 6 videos. How to get ahead of 99% of people. Thumbnail. Monk mode 2023. Oh, interesting.
That's weird.
Nick says, I've totally met a mix. Some people really amp up for YouTube and it's a performance. I'm what you see on video. It's me.
Nick has a Jamaican accent in real life.
Yeah, no, I feel like it would be you.
Oh yeah, see Neil saying, yeah, Ryan does speak fast. Speak fast.
Your vibe attracts your tribe.
Introvert amateur. Off topic. Tom, will there be a podcast episode on CVE1 and Sony firmware? I've thought about doing a podcast. It's actually kind of a reason there wasn't a podcast this week, is because I wasn't sure what to do.
I offered to help.
No, Heather helped, because in my last podcast episode, I said the next episode is going to be basics of lighting and sound. It's like a very simple, like, instructional thing. But the thing that's been on my mind is sort of the difference of, like, dissecting the hype between releases versus let's evaluate the hype between these things, and marketing and everything has to be revolutionary. And I was going to use Sony and Rode as my examples. But I just felt a little like I need to have more of a purpose than like venting. And I don't want to just...
So you just didn't.
So I just didn't, yeah. Like, yeah. So I just didn't.
Michael says, I do an online lecture about different YouTube personalities and knowing your audience. I use Tom's How to Make Thumbnails as an example of talking to your audience.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
That video gets a new view.
You're the one who's watching that video. That's awesome. That's so crazy.
That's so cool. I love that.
Yeah. We went long. That was fun, though. Time flew by.
I have to...
You gotta go get your haircut.
I gotta go get my haircut and go pick up cookies from Tiffany.
I do have one haircut story.
Are you gonna tell your haircut story? Do I know this?
Probably. When I was 11, my mom, she had hair kind of like at the length of yours now, maybe a little bit longer, just kind of straight hair. And she was like, I need to get a haircut. Can you just cut my hair? I can't reach, she wasn't gonna pay to go to a stylist or whatever. And she's like, just cut straight right about here. I don't know why, but this turned into kind of this. And all I remember was I tried my best, and she was like, okay, thanks. And then she went to her room, looked in the mirror, and just started crying. And I don't remember what the solution was. I definitely wasn't allowed to help fix it. But don't let me cut your hair. Because it's going to look like, I don't know.
It's not going to look like that.
No,
You're 11.
I had our wedding photos. I had a homemade haircut because it was the pandemic.
Yeah.
It took me 3 hours, and it was pretty uneven, but
I thought you looked handsome.
It gave me a really big appreciation for actual like people who can really cut hair and do it in not 3 hours.
Spiral Lab says, Heather, I would love if you did some extreme beginner how-to jump videos. I'm intrigued, but I have some limitations.
I mean, you're not a beginner at this point, but
I still think I am. But...
Well, I think it's weird. People feel like they need to be an expert before they can teach something. And part of me feels like the best time to teach something is right after you've learned it.
You know why
because you remember being a beginner.
I think I hesitate. Okay, I'm going to share this story because I feel like this will resonate. Okay, so jump rope. I've been jumping for a year and a half. I started a YouTube channel when I first picked up a jump rope because I was like, oh, I'll document the journey, which I didn't end up doing. But whatever. I'm uploading videos now. The jump rope community is huge on Instagram. Like, that is where they connect. You could, it's a very small space. Like, maybe it's like audio, video, everyone knows who like the top 10, 20 creators are. And the people who like just get into it, it's like, I don't know, it's about like, you can tell when someone's like really good. I don't know, maybe it's like the food niche where like Binging with Babish is taking a very unique approach to it, so they rise to the top very quickly. The reason why I'm hesitant, and now that I'm thinking about saying this out loud, I'm kind of embarrassed that I'm thinking this, but I feel like it's so pretentious to make a jump rope video for beginners, because it's like, oh, so you're an expert now? Like, you think you're one of those? Because all of the top creators have made the beginner video. Yeah. And like, I feel like when they do, it's like you're claiming that now, right? Because you have and this is so stupid. Like, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, this is so dumb.
So let me bounce this idea off you then. The thing that I've been thinking about it is ice skating.
Okay.
A couple months ago, we went ice skating, and I was stuck to the wall, couldn't do anything. I'm by no means an expert, but I'm competent in forward skating enough now. Like, I feel pretty good, and I can try new things. I can definitely do things you can't do your first couple times ice skating.
Yeah.
But I also really, really, really remember and still go to like the fundamentals every time. And so there are times, especially at the public skates, where it's kind of crowded and everyone's just sort of going in the circle, and you see the people who it's their first time on the ice, and you know, there's like 3 or 4 people who are just like spiders, just like stuck to the wall, and like they don't want to move anywhere. And I've had the thought of like, oh, I so clearly remember that feeling because it wasn't that long ago. And I so clearly remember the things I could do to get over that part of me wants to just go like, oh, you know what? Like, check out, if you just do this, that, no, not make a video, but I mean, like, literally in this case, like, oh, like, you know, do this thing or whatever. And you can, like, I feel like it'd be very easy versus, because of course you learn to ice skate. There's a million ice skating channels out there that are pretty good, but a lot of them are people who've been ice skating for their whole lives. And so even when they try to explain the basics, they're kind of forgetting like things that they take as just being, yes, this is how it works and it's natural. There's nothing natural about having a blade on your foot and walking across frozen water. Like, everything about it is unnatural. And so sometimes they're just not the best to explain it, even though technically their explanation is correct. Something doesn't connect versus, I think literally if someone had just learned this 2 months ago and was telling me, I could learn right away.
Okay. Maybe the reason why I feel the way that I do is because maybe I've seen it so many times where it's become a meme in my head because it's like, here are the beginner tips for like getting started with jump rope, and it's the same 3 points.
Of course.
No matter who does it. And like, maybe what I need to do is make my version of it, just like you, where it's like, okay, you know, I remember, like, I know those are the 3 tips, but here are like 3 other things that you're probably not thinking about. Well, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make that video, Marta, and I'm going to make it for you.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm going to ignore everything else.
Forget that anyone else has ever made a video.
Yeah.
And just go like, I need to teach Marta how to
This is for you.
Jump.
I'm going to make that video. See? Look at that. Thanks for giving me a video.
It's going to be one of your 38.
Beginner jump rope.
That's what she said. I want you. Very gentle jumping for people who just want to get a little bit in shape. I love that.
I can help you. I'll make that video.
If Sony or Apple didn't hype a real rare, they get a clown for a soft release. They can't win. I'm gonna
see. Here's Rio Pelru.
Yeah, I'm gonna
dropping knowledge. People follow your jump rope channel for you. They want to know your journey and approach to jump roping. They want your personality.
Truth.
How long have I been doing this, and why do I still need to know this? Because it's just me. Yes. I really come to appreciate this about myself, that I just am the type of person that just really needs encouragement.
Me too.
Always.
Yeah.
Like, I just do, you know?
Some people thrive on the other end of that.
Yeah. Like you could just go do your thing and just like you're, you know, head to the ground and you're just crunching through.
Or just tough love. Like, no, like what's wrong with, like, some people really want that like harsh feedback. I shut down. I will just, I'll go away. I'm done. We're not doing this anymore. Like, it doesn't work for me.
But like, seriously, the Rio Pelru, this is the exact same thing I've heard. I have told 2 people. People have paid me to tell them this, okay? And like, it's nice to I think it's a cool thing that I still need to be told this, you know, because I don't want to. Yeah. It's an ongoing journey of self improvement,
reflection.
You can make videos of your experience month by month. Well, actually, here. So, blah, blah, my brain just farted. Okay, so I'm gonna do a new like creator challenge on my jump rope channel. I totally forgot about this, but I think what I'm gonna do is like 7 days of jumping and just upload shorts because I'm curious, YouTube platform wise. Versus Instagram Reels, actually. So I'm going to just upload the same thing. I can't start until tomorrow because I get my new jump rope at tomorrow.
You getting a new rope?
Matt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm very curious, and I'll just talk about it next time on the
That sounds fun.
Anyway.
Time to clear that table. Every algebra teacher starts out reminding you on the first day that you have to solve both sides of the equation. They have to be equal. Only one of those teachers can win Teacher of the Year. Yeah, I mean, that's a good example because I've talked about, like, if you're a 10th grade English teacher, you have the same curriculum, and a typical high school might have 4 or 5 10th grade English teachers, and each student will have their favorite and their least favorite. It's the exact same content and curriculum out of the same books.
Yeah.
But yeah, it comes down to the person.
I learned jump rope next time, and this is what I discovered.
It's like beginners teaching beginners or something, like learn with me, like that kind of like. You don't have to be like, I'm the expert. What up? It's your boy. I've been skating 8 weeks. Get ready to hit the ice. Shred some snow, bro. I don't know what they say.
Can I please subscribe to that channel? Can you make this channel happen, please? I'm kind of into it.
It's gonna be called Snow Business.
Ain't no business like snow business.
Yes, nice guys, ice guys.
Finish last.
Sure. I don't know. I'm not gonna make this extreme beginner skating channel.
I think it's time.
All right. Well, thank you for being here, and those of you who stuck around for both of my streams today, thanks for that. That's awesome.
Yay!
I hope you all have a safe, happy, healthy, fun rest of your week and your weekend.
Yep.
And we got cool topics for future episodes.
Yes, we do.
So.
Catch you on the flip side.
Bye.
Bye.